Hi. You know, I am the fifth of 7 children, and I'm the third of 4 girls. My older brothers and sisters are smart, they're talented, they're beautiful, and they're extremely well behaved. I was destined to live my early life in their shadows, and it was not a position that I cared for. I used to complain to my grandmother that nobody would ever know me for who I was, and my grandmother was a rather tough woman, and she said, you know, deal with it. You don't get to choose a lot in this life about your family, but you get to choose your attitude. My mother was gentler, more supportive, and highly motivating, and she said to me, Amy, you have a superpower. Your superpower is your freedom of choice, and you have secret weapons. Your secret weapons are your attitudes. Every single day you get to wake up and you get to choose an attitude, and that attitude could be positive, it could be negative, it could be happy, it could be sad, it could be praising, or it could be critical. When you choose your attitude every single day, you say to the world who you are. It sounded so easy, and it really was. But true adversity changes and makes you reach into the core, deep, to find more. I faced that true adversity in a fairly short timeline. 29 days ago, I went for a mammogram, and I knew something wasn't quite right because the tech asked me to stay for a few more pictures, but she didn't say anything. She was pretty non-committal. I got a phone call and was asked to come back for more pictures, so I did that 22 days ago. At that particular appointment, there was a radiologist who told me, we see something, we don't know exactly what it is. The only way we're going to know for sure is we need to do a biopsy. So 10 days ago, I had a biopsy, and 8 days ago, I got a phone call. It's the kind of phone call you don't ever want to get. The phone call said, Amy, you have breast cancer, and we're going to have to remove the tumors in your breast. I had about 4 hours, maybe 6 hours, before I needed to start telling people what was going on. And I took those 4 hours and those 6 hours to cry a lot. And to try and figure out how I was going to face this disease. I thought about my superpower, freedom of choice, and I thought about my secret weapons, my attitudes. And I realized I had this opportunity to decide not the fact that I had breast cancer, because you know that was something that was thrust upon me, but how I was going to face this ordeal, this change in position in life. How I was going to face my own mortality. So what I decided to do was I decided to figure out whether or not there was anyone I could blame. Was I going to be a victim? Why does this have to happen to me? Or was I going to take the role of a survivor and be very stoic, face this head on, and get through it? Or was I going to go higher than that? Was I going to become a fighter? A fighter's good. A fighter's really good. It says that I'm tougher than you and I can beat you. But I wanted to elevate it even further than that. I wanted to elevate it to the level of empowerment because I realized I have a voice and I could use that voice to talk to other people who got this diagnosis, people who were paralyzed by this diagnosis, crushed with the fear, not knowing what to do. So I decided I'd take a little bit of a look at the literary world and see if I could find some role models. And I started out with Shakespeare, and I thought about Hamlet, to be or not to be, to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to oppose. That didn't sound quite right. So I went on to J. Alfred Prufrock, who lived out his life in measured coffee spoons. Was I going to be that stoic? That didn't work for me either. And then there's the hollow men who decide to end the world with a whimper and not a bang. No, none of those fit me. So I went to Dylan Thomas. And Dylan Thomas said, do not go gently into that good night. Raging, raging into the light. That was it. That was my persona. I am not going to go gently into that good light. I'm going to use my voice, and I'm going to speak up about my diagnosis. I'm going to speak up about all of the things that happened to me along the way of fighting this disease. Because I know there are people out there who don't have the strength, the courage, the conviction, not because they don't want to have it, but because they're paralyzed by fear. I'm going to use my voice and I'm going to speak out. And I'm going to remind people that they have a responsibility to take care of themselves, and probably more importantly, they have a responsibility to take care of other people. And they can use my superpowers. They can use my secret weapons. They have freedom of choice, and they have the ability every single day to choose their attitude. People are asking me right now, are you fighting for your life? And I smile and I respond, no, I am not fighting for my life. I am living for the fight. Small distinction, but what it ends up meaning is maybe I can be a superpower too.